Hello guys, welcome back. In today's Microsoft Excel VBA video, we are going to continue our discussion with the for loop. In the previous video, we started looking at the topics of loops and we started our discussion with the for loop itself. So in this video, we are going to look at the for loop once again. We are going to look at some of the features of the for loops which would help us to understand the applications of this loop in a better way. The reason why we are doing this because loops have a great importance in any programming language, and whenever we are using the Visual Basic Programming language, for loop is going to be of utmost importance, so it is better to understand its basic clearly. So let's start. This is our screen from the previous video itself in which we used the for loop. So we used this for loop for a simple value, that is from 1 to 5, and we displayed that value multiplying it by 10. Now we all know that suppose if we want to just show like the color over here and the color index over here, that is if we want to show the color of any particular thing, or we want to assign a color using the color index, then we have possible values from 1 to 56. Now 1 to 56 is an integer value, so if we want, we can just show it using a for loop. So this would help us to understand the working of a for loop in a better way. Let us just change the code here. I'm just deleting this piece of code which we wrote in the previous video, and I'm going to start with a new code. So the first thing that we are going to do for this purpose is declare an integer. That is we can declare any kind of integer. I am declaring I as an integer over here, and then I'm going to use this for loop in I. So for I equals, what is going to be the range? We know for the color index the possible range is 1 to 56, so this is exactly going to be a range 1, then 2, which is a keyword, 56. Now this is the starting of for loop, and the ending statement for the for loop is nothing but next. It is a good practice to write the starting and the ending statement and then fill in the rest of the statements to make sure that there is no error while we are trying to run this piece of code. Okay. Now once we have done this, the next thing we are going to do is in the cells we have to write what is the color index. That is, we have to display the values in one cell. Suppose in the A column cells I display the values from 1 till 56, and in the B column I display the corresponding colors. Okay, so this is how it works. For that purpose, what I'm going to do is simply I'm going to just add like cells. I'm going to use cells x comma 1. The row index is x, which is going to change, and the column index is 1. Here I'm going to display the value of x, that is the color coding value or the color index value, and then in the cells x comma 2, that is second column, that is the B column, I'm going to display the value as I'm actually going to change its color. So we know that in order to change the color we need to use a dot function and write interior, then again put a dot, and here we need to write color index equals x, which means that we are going to first show the value of x and then we are going to show the color index. Okay, so this is what our code is going to look like, and let's run it by using the F5 function. So first of all, you can select the macro. For loop is the name of the macro, and if we click on run, then we get an error. Okay, so actually the variable that we defined here was I, but I have written here as x. So let's just change the name of the variable to x. This is actually the name of the variable, which could be anything that you like. I have chosen x. If you want, you can choose I or any other variable name. If I just run it, you can see this is what we have got as the output. So this is the whole color band. You can see that it starts from color index 1 and goes up till color index 56. which means these are all the possible color values, and this is the method through which you can get your color band in front of you. This would help you to select for a particular value. Suppose this H11 cell whose color, actually background cell color, you want to change to something like this. You can get the shade from here. That is, for 38 value you will get this particular color, this particular shade of pink, and you would be able to just apply it, or any other color like you want, which is orange, and these different kinds of shades. So this is the color band that you have got for yourself. Okay, so that is one application of for loop. Another application, or we can say another important thing that we need to understand in a for loop is, up till now we just wrote 1 to 56, and what did it do? It traversed the for loop from 1, 2, 3 and so on up till 56, which means there was a gapping of 1 every time in the for loop. But what if we do not want the gapping of 1, we want gapping of something else? Suppose we want gapping of 2. Suppose I want to show the color bands of 1, then 3, then 5. I want to show the odd color bands in the column D, their values in D, and the color bands in column E. Then how can I go with it? So I need to just change these values. For D I have this as 4, and for E I have it as 5. Okay, so to skip something, or to iterate with something other than 1, we use something in for loop that is known as step. If I just write this keyword step and I put a space and write as 2, then what will for loop do? Step is again a keyword. It would execute for loop for value of x as 1. It would take the value as 1, execute these two statements, and then when it encounters the next statement, it would see that the step value is 2, which means instead of incrementing the value of x by 1, for loop will now increment the value of x by 2, which means the next possible value for x would be 3. And this is how it works. So let us see it. I'm just going to run it all in one go using F5 key, and you can see that we have got the value as 1 in E, then I have got the value as 3 here, value as 5. And as you can see, we use this x, which means in the 1, 4, that is the D1 cell, we got the value of x, that is 1, and then the next value is 3. That is why we have got we have escaped this cell which was of 2, and we have got this thing as 3, which means this cell, this value of x was 3 over here. If we just try to look over here, it was 3, which means the cell number or the coding in the cells would be like this: 3, 4 equals to 3, and the color index value it took as 3. That is why one of these rows have been left blank everywhere. So that is how you can use the step function to just iterate through the values by skipping some values. This was 2. If you want, you can just keep it as 3, keep it as 4, or any of the integers that you want. Also, you can put a negative value to it, but what is the significance of a negative value? So let's just show its application in 7 and 8. And if we just put a negative value, say -1, then what would happen is it would just execute the for loop in the reverse order. That is, up till now we search for the values from 1 till 56. Now when we are using the step function at -1, then the for loop would execute in a similar way. That is, the step function would be at the value 1, but -1 means that it would execute in a backwards order, that is 56, 55, 54 and so on. The value will keep on decrementing until it comes at 1. So let's see it example. Let's just run it using this F5 function. Okay, so that is giving actually no output, and the reason is we have to just change its order also from 56 to 1 like this, so that it would just execute the for loop in the reverse order. And let's just see it. if we just run it, then you can see over here. So that's how it works. And that is all for today's video, in which we learned about some of the variations or some of the syntaxes of the for loop, which is specifically the step function. How using the step function we can actually execute the for loop in a backwards fashion, or how can we just actually use this step function to execute some of the values and skip some of the values by incrementing its values, like step 2, step 3, and so on. So this was all about for loop that we need to understand. And thanks